Hey everybody, it's Steve with Sky194, and I just want to say thank you for stopping by to check out my video. And we are here at Misano, and we are in the Ferrari 488 GT3 car. And I had a request to do a setup for the Ferrari here at Misano, and also do a setup guide to kind of show, what kind of adjustments we can do. And I haven't driven the Ferrari in a while, so kind of a big surprise to me. It feels like it's different than it used to be, a little bit more easy to get along with. So I've been driving, did some aggressive, and with the aggressive setup, and let's load it here. And of course, the only thing I've changed is the steering ratio. Everything else is exactly, and the tire pressures, but everything else I have not touched. It is just the way it comes on the aggressive. And the front arrow variation is a negative 0.6 to the, so it's got more towards the rear. So let's go ahead and make a few laps and get going.
Green light, go, go, go.
Yeah, I mean, I've always liked the Ferrari, the Ferrari, but it just, I couldn't get it to handle the way I like it to, and it just, I spent a lot of time messing around with it, and just kind of ran out of time to keep messing with it. To be honest, I mean, there's so many other cars that wasn't that difficult to find where it would handle pretty good. With this, it just seemed like it never wanted to. But now it's not bad. I don't know if they made some adjustments on the car on some of the updates or what, but it sure does seem a lot more driver friendly. So I mean, I'd love to drive it more, racing some of the multiplayer and stuff like that. I know I've seen a lot of guys running in multiplayer. Maybe that's why. Kind of unique with the long fifth gear. Here it actually works out pretty good because you don't have to go up into sixth. But the back always felt disconnected. The rear end always just felt disconnected, slid around, sliding everywhere. But it doesn't feel that bad now. So, like I said, I'll have to, we'll see what we can do here with this setup. See if we go better or worse. I ran just on this aggressive here, I ran basically a 135 flat. I thought that was really good for me, with that much fuel and everything else.
Well done, mate. Rest of the best.
Yeah, tires look pretty good. But yeah, I mean, this is for just the aggressive setup. This is really good. Wide there. And hopefully we can make it a little more driver friendly. Yeah, you can be aggressive with it, just as long as you don't go out of bounds. But I mean, it feels pretty planted. One more lap, see if I can get a clean lap here. Check the tires after this, see what they look like. Oh, dang it. A little bit too deep. There you go.
Mate, this has been your personal best.
35.0. I mean, for me, that's not bad at all. Tires look pretty good. Teeny bit low, but I mean, nothing real bad. So let's go ahead and look at that replay. Let's go back a little bit so I get a chance to turn the hood on. Race at the 50 right there. That's my brake marker for turn 1 right here. I try to miss these sausages. Those sausages right there, I try to, barely touch them. But the Ferrari actually takes them pretty good. Again, I just barely touched them. I just try to put my left tires on the white line pretty much there. It's still legal. And then here, right where this ends between here and the 50 is where this ends here and the 50 is where pretty much in here is where my brake marker is for this tight turn here. Now this, basically I go wide and then I come in there real tight so I can be to the right here and get a nice when I turn left, I want to get a nice drive down that straightaway. It's really important. And so basically, I take it there so I can come across here. I was actually a little bit too much to the right there, and then I can come across this curb right here, right, just like that. And then basically it's that way you want to stay away from here, and like I got that out of bounds, stay away from that. And up here, right there is where I'm at the 100 is where I'm getting on the brakes. I go all the way in Ferrari. I go all the way down to first and just kind of roll through it. And then basically here, when I'm coming up to this curb, the apex of this curb is where I hit my brakes right there when I'm coming up to that. And then basically turn it in tight. It was a little bit wide. Not bad, but it was a little wide. The Ferrari does really good on this dog leg down here. I try to stay out wide when I'm on the brakes, and then downshift, and then cut across. If you're over here to the right, you're going to go way off. So you got to try to stay as far left as you can here. And then that sign is my brake marker for this real tight turn here. This right there. This Audi sign right here is my brake marker sign. So right for this tight turn. And then this turn up here, the 50. The 50 is my brake marker sign right up here. That's a lap. Like I said, a 35.0. Alrighty. So let's go to the garage. Let's see what the tires, any kind of wear. I got light graining there. That might be, it could be locking a tire up. But that's not bad. But so first I'm gonna do is put the number 1 brake pad. I know the tires are okay. The balance seems pretty good. So this is actually not real bad. I'm sure we'll make some tweaks to it, but I'll keep it probably pretty close to this. So let's start at the other end, on the alignment end. And again, see, you got 6 degrees here between the inner and the outer, and you have 5 degrees there, 6 degrees there, and 7 degrees here. Seems like an awful lot. I don't usually like that big of a spread. This one's not bad. I don't mind that, but this is, having 4, that's, yeah, 7 degrees on the back is a lot. Like I said, it's going to be hard to, it's a really good time for just a stock aggressive, so we'll just have to see what we can do. The toe, it's not that bad. I can take it, knock it down just a few, but really not going to do much. This, I don't like the way it feels in the corners. It feels like, how can I, just it, the way that the way you're getting the force feedback, the tire is just, it feels like it's grabbing and then sliding, grabbing and sliding. So I think it's because of all this negative camber. So what we're going to do is we're going to just take a little bit out. And the Ferrari, I always like put more caster to it. So we're going to go up to 14 on the caster. We're going to leave the toe alone back here. And this is an awful lot. I mean, so I'm going to knock this down. And see what we can get these temps a little closer together. That's so far away. I mean, 7 degrees is an awful lot for the rear. That's a lot of tire that's not on the ground. So we got that. I'm going to increase the ABS 1 just because I might have a tire that's locking up in a turn or something, and that's why it's graining. I don't know, but we'll see. So let's try that. So all we did is basically in alignment, caster, camber, and that's pretty much it. And the number 1 brake pads, and that's it. So let's try that. Make a few laps. And see where we're at. I figured I'd bring out the red Ferrari. I mean, we're doing this. You gotta have a red Ferrari. So feels a lot better. But we'll see if it translates to better on the track. So. See, I don't feel that now. Before it felt like it was, sliding and then turning and sliding and turning. Now it just feels it feels more uniform now. Yeah, it's going to be tough to get this to go faster, that's for sure. That's already a really good time. For me, I mean. doing so good here. Better lap here. This lap here, one more lap, see how we do. Doing a little better. All right. Well, that's real close to what we had. 3504. So tires look perfect. So let's see what the wear looks like. I think that's what we just had. Oh, it's got light on both sides. So we'll see it. Oh, those are the same tires. Oh, no wonder. That's the same tires we went out with the first time. So that's not too bad considering we just went out with the, set some fast laps on with the same tires. But now he's got green on both sides. So we're gonna have to take a look at that. I don't like that at all. Let's go to the mechanical. Everything else is fine. So any roll bar. Any roll bar. See, then again with the Ferrari, there's so many adjustments. I mean, look, you got 27. So I mean, it's almost like in multiples of 5 compared to like normal cars. I mean, I'll go up to 30, just a little bit stiffer, but I don't want to get too stiff. Brake bias, I'll leave alone. It's pretty good. And the wheel rate. The wheel rate seems pretty stiff. I mean, there's only, what, 2 more to go. So, let's try to get more grip in the front, because it feels like the front is not getting grip. So let's try to soften up just 1 click on the front springs. And again, that way also, if the track was just fast, it would also be kind of a good compromise. You know, if the track had a little less grip in it also, and it wasn't optimum. So we'll go ahead and just do 1 less click and see if that works out okay. I'm going to go up 1 in the bump stop rate here, just because of those hard right-hand turns. And I'm going to go up 1 just on the range, just give a little bit of, so it's not so harsh. I'm going to leave the rear wheel rate alone. That's already real low. I'm just going to leave that alone. In fact, I wouldn't mind going up. Let's try it up. Let's try to go up. Let's try up 1 click. So we went down 1 click on the springs in the front and up 1 click on the springs on the rear. We'll leave the bump stop rate alone for now. Let's drop this down. And we'll leave the anti-roll bar alone for right now, and the preload on the diff. That's a lot, and the preload on the diff. And that's what I'm thinking, is keeping the rear end straight. Because like I said, it feels like it's disconnected a lot of times with the Ferrari, but it seems like they got to run a lot of preload on the diff with the Ferrari. So let's just try that. So we just barely tweaked the anti-roll bar. And change, the biggest thing is we change the springs in the front and the springs in the rear. And this is to get a little more grip in the front. So we're trying to change the grip level. Add a little grip here with a little less grip here. So hopefully it'll push a little bit more of the weight to the front. So we'll see how it reacts. Make a few laps. I'll see, they did a hot fix also today, came out. We're at 1.5.5. Now, see if I can remember. I'll read you. Take a break sometime. I'll read you what they did. Look how it rotates. It's rotating really nice. fronts are running a little colder now. Better. Alright.
Well done, mate. Your fastest lap so far.
34.74. Got it into the 34s. Alright. Looks like we need to come up a little bit on the tire temp. Or pressure, I should say. We'll try that out. Let's look at the tires. None. No. Don't have any graining at all. Alright, that's what I like. So now, I mean, you know, again, this is not perfect, I'm sure, but it's not bad. So let's take a look at the shocks or dampers. Let's see here. That don't look too bad. I think I'm just going to increase the fast rebound. And just increase these just a little bit. That's about, we'll try it right there. Okay, the arrow. Okay, they got it all the way down on the front, which I don't like. Just because I don't feel it hitting anything, but still, you know, if you run over some of them sausages accidentally, it might just make the car go jump in the air. Let's just go up one. Now we were at 0.6, negative 0.6. So let's do this. The car's 57 in the rear, so let's level it out. So now we're at negative 1.0. So we got that. So let's take one out of the rear wing. Now we're back where we were. Okay. So let's try that. Let's see how the balance of the car is. Maybe it'll give us maybe a little bit more straightaway speed. We'll see. Brake ducts, I'm not too worried about. They're fine. If anything, they could be closed up a teeny bit, but I'm not worried about it. Let's see what it does with the fuel load test. So if we only have 10 liters, It's at negative 0.6, so negative 0.7. So if anything, it tightens up just a teeny bit. So instead of rotating a little more, it's going to rotate a little less. So you definitely want to be pretty neutral on with the Ferrari, and the Ferrari is balanced very well. So let's take a look at that last lap. See if we see anything. Wide there. Not too bad. I've had some really good races in the Ferrari. It's been a while ago. Some really good finishes with multiplayer and stuff like that. I mean, I really like it, but then it just seemed like I couldn't do any improvements upon it. So I still wonder if they changed something with it. I wasn't paying attention. I want to see what the speed is. 156. So it's 156 down that back straightaway. I was kind of looking to see if the back end was slidey. You know, I was doing a lot of sliding around. Seems pretty good. So that makes me feel good about it. So we'll see what it is when I take wing out, though. So that's the thing. I mean, we got to see if, you know, me taking a little bit of wing out is going to make it worse. And, of course, we changed the balance of the car. I mean, basically the car is just level now. So let's see how this reacts. Real happy with that time. That's, for me, that's a good time, especially with, you know, decent amount of fuel in it. Alright, just an outlap. Be over farther. Feels a little different. Lost a ton of time there. This is a bad lap. Decent lap. All right.
Well done, mate. Personal fastest lap.
Yeah, see, I ran wide. Dang it. Cut it in too early. Mess this lap up. Tires look good. That up. Better. Little slide there. Not a bad lap. Let's do one more and see how it goes. Trying to get some wear on these tires. See what they're going to look like. Plus, to see how consistent I can be with it. Right, 34.57. It's not bad after so many laps. Down to 48 liters. Tires look perfect. This is going a lot better than I thought it would. All right, awesome. So let's look at the tires. Okay, you still got 6 degrees difference there. That's not bad. 5 here, 5 here, and 5 here. So see, that's a lot better. A lot better. Let's see what it looks like on the tires. You got light graining here in the front, so we're back to light graining again. The rear is fine. So let's see what we can do. See. What can we do? I like the spring setup. I like the balance. It's really good. I'll go up 1 on the bump stop right here, just on this left side. I mean, it's close to my personal best. I mean, it's pretty good for me. I should have looked it up before, but I mean, it's right there. It's probably within hundreds. I like this. I mean, if I go down 1 more, it's gonna be that negative 0.3. It's gonna be even less. I might try that because remember, as the fuel comes off, it's gonna go back up probably to 0.4. So, if you ran it way down, so I might try that. And so we're gonna take 1 more out of the wing. I'm going to increase the brake bias back up to 58 because we're dropping the wing and we're not going to have as much grip, and that's what gets that back end sliding. So you got too much brake bias to the rear. You can get away with a little bit if you're running a lot of wing, but as you're taking the wing out, you got to be cautious of that because then that's what happens when you get to a turn, or let's say you brake just a little bit, trail brake going into the turn, it's just going to slide. The back end you're going to get that sliding effect, which I hate, and it just kills your time, and it's just bad everywhere. So, I'm just going to go 1 point out, which is still at 58, which is still good. Tire wise, I just shoot. I kind of like it where it's at, but because it's going to close this in even more. Let's go let's just drop it one more, see if that'll help with the graining. So basically, all we did is teeny adjustment on the negative camber on the front and rear. Mechanical, I didn't really do anything except just up the bump stop rate in the left rear and the brake bias. And the aero is a big one where we just took one more out of the wing. So let's take another look at the. Well, let's just go ahead and make another lap. Just do a few more laps. We'll have to look at it again if we can duplicate it. I really prefer not to grain. I mean, if it was no grain, it'd be perfect. But I mean, I know I'm pushing hard, but I'm really happy with the time. That's a great time for me. You know, like I said, it's got to be near my personal best, and I mean, especially with the Ferrari, I'm really happy because I just kind of struggled with it. I don't really count the first lap because getting the tires up to temperature, feels a little loose, but we'll see how it goes. Oh, shoot, I should have done that. Yeah, I might have to drop into 6 on drafting somebody. Yeah, I like the Ferrari too because it's got the monitor there. I like the Aston Martin. Little TV screen. Terrible lap. See, it's not until the balance is off a little bit. I don't like it. So let's go back. See, it's not working. It's just throwing the balance of the car off. So I don't care for that. Oh, wait a minute. Yeah. Let's put it back to that. Back to 9. And let's make another run with it. I'm going to go up on the preload on the diff, just 1. And that, again, is to try to keep the back end steady. Not sliding around, hopefully. And I'll just raise the rear end 1. Didn't even change anything here. So let's just try it. Because we changed the, still changed the alignment. So I want to see if that's going to change anything with the wear of the tires. We might be pretty good here if I can. You can always try to go faster and faster, but for me this is a pretty good time. And I'd like to see I'd like to see the tires not have the graining. I just hate doing that for that short a run. I mean, after a long run, that's fine, but try it like this at first. We can always adjust the brake back too. Also, I just left the brake there just to try it again, just to try to be a little bit, see how the balance is. Feels all right. Tires look good.
Well done, mate. Personal best.
All right. Oh, ran wide. See, that's why I wanted to lift the car up. Just for reasons just like that. I mean, no big deal. Not a good lap here. Come up with a better lap. Dang it. Just didn't get the drive I wanted to off of there. All right, that's some good laps. I was all in the 34s the whole time, pretty much. I mean, I'm happy with that. I'd be happy if the tires were wearing good. Let's see what they look like. Let's look at this. Let's see, that's 6 degrees. That's fine. That's 6. Oh, that's good. So it's 6 on both sides. That's 5 there, and that's 5 there. So we got 6 on both sides and 5 on both sides in the rear. I like that. Still got light graining. Yeah, it's wearing really good too. 90, 91, 92, 85, 87, 88. So, again, I mean, I had this problem again with the Audi in my other video at Silverstone, and it seems like you can't get away from it. I don't know if they're making it even more easier, with the updates to grain or not, but I'm going to leave it at that, and that's a good base setup. I just really think that running mid 34s with that amount of fuel on it, and I mean, let's look at the timetables so I can see here. I mean, I came out of the pits and ran a 28. Oh, right here. So, I mean, 62, a 47, an 86, and a 77. I mean, you got 4 laps all in the 34s. That's, I'm real happy with that. Even the first full lap was a 34. Lots of 34s. And the 35s are like 1-0. So I'm real happy with that. There's a 10th there. About a 10th there, almost another couple tenths, just in some of these other fast laps. So I'm really happy with that. Let's take a look at the replay. It was this one, this lap, fast lap. It's a 34.62. I'm going to need to mess with this Ferrari some more, maybe some other tracks, see, it just seems like it's handling better or more connected than it was before, and I like to kind of, I don't know, reinforce that or double check and maybe, run some other tracks and see if it does that there also, or, if it feels the same way at these other tracks, or does it feel completely different. So, I mean, I really like the Ferrari. I hope it is, because I would love to drive it more. Slide there. What's funny is the rear end the back tires aren't getting any graining, so. Yeah, no, it's the 134.47. It looked really good. Oh, but I'll go ahead and redo this start here. I was going to go ahead and let everybody know about the update. Let's see if I can find it here. Go. Okay, so basically it's the 1.5.5. Time penalties issued by the race administration are now served on the next pit stop as per real life. Opens up the possibility of pit stop ballast in organized events with mandatory pit stops. Time penalties that are not served will be added to the total time on session finish as before. Server fixed an issue with post-session state management in multiplayer. Well, they fixed the CP server, so that's so we can have some multiplayer races. Servable penalties. Drive-thrus and stop-and-goes are no longer forced into a to-serve state by default when the car is in the pit lane. Avoid scenarios where cars can become compromised when receiving an administrative penalty inside the pit lane or when already performing a pit stop. Server. Post-race time penalties are now applied to the final results on session complete state. Note, final results are calculated when the last car on track crosses the finish line or when the session over time seconds phase is up. Note, when post-race penalties are added to the car's total time, the penalty labels on the leaderboard standings turn from red to gray. Severity of the converted post-race time penalties are now track dependent to factor in longer pit lanes, Spa. Server detection of idle players so that the race complete state and result generation does not wait for the session overtime to be over if there are idle cars in pit lane. Good. Revised pole sitter side on all tracks, both single player and multiplayer. Good. There's a couple of them like Zandvoort where they got me, as far as I'm concerned, the pole sitter sits on the wrong side. Fixed an issue at Monza where the pit lane status occasionally failed to disable on pit exit. Yeah, that's happened to me yesterday, multiple times, just practicing. UI penalty labels changed background color to gray on session complete state to signify that the penalty has been calculated in the time displayed. View settings page reduced step intervals and quicker timing for press and hold on position pitch selectors. Career pages now use a static series logo independently from the active series selected in the single player menu. MFD/setup UI now reliably show the correct tire data for all tire sets used in multiplayer driver swap scenarios even after non-driving clients reconnect. MFD pit strategy page will no longer auto-select the pit limiter row if the player already has that page selected before entering the pit lane. Avoids unintentional deactivation of pit limiter when modifying pit strategy upon entering the pit lane. Fixed MFD automatically jumping to pit page on pit exit if the player cycles to a different MFD page while still inside the pit lane. Graphics. Various texture memory footprint optimizations. Fixed an issue with the dirt texture of the Lexus RCF GT3. Fixed a graphical error on the Nissan GTR GT3, both versions. Fixed incorrect blurred rim behavior on the Audi R8 LMS cars. Stationary cars in the pit lane will now become hidden when the player approaches them to facilitate visibility and car positioning with overlapping stacked pit positions in multiplayer. Physics. Fixed currently active tire set state resetting on forced pit speeding teleport in free practice and qualifying sessions. I'll say that again. Fixed currently active tire set state resetting on forced pit speeding teleport in free practice and qualifying sessions. Fixed erroneous behavior of combined ABS and pit limiter in certain situations. And that's the update. Pretty good one there. It's the 1.5.5 hot fix. It's a pretty good size update. So let's go back over this and we'll end the video. again, we have 25.8 left front, 26.1 left rear, 26.8 right front, 26.6 right rear. The toe is negative 0.05 on the front, with the camber at negative 3.4 and the caster at 14. The toe on the rear is 0.1 with the camber at negative 2.8. Now, I'm going to go over a couple little things just for anybody that would like to know. I mean, with the toe, basically, I mean, that can help turn in if you run more negative toe. But the flip side of that is it creates more heat, and you can also have chances of wear on the tires. So it's a and also if you run a lot of negative toe, obviously on a long straightaway it can hurt your speed some. So there's goods and bads. The negative camber, of course, it can help tire wear or can hurt tire wear. As far as how much or how little you have. Also, it can hurt your braking performance if you have too much negative camber and you're on the brakes. You're not getting the full footprint of the tire on the ground, and if it is, the outside still isn't planted like the rest of the tire. So, I mean, that's where you get the benefits of less negative camber. But sometimes also if you have different loads, with turns, as far as you don't have enough negative camber, well, then you could either be rolling over on the tire, you could roll over on the edge. um, that's not a good thing. You're losing performance. Or if I've never had it to where I'm wearing the outside more than the inside. I've never had that issue, but you can still give away performance if you don't run enough negative camber. So it's a flip side both ways. And of course the caster, is basically adds a little bit more stability. But on the flip side, if you need the car to react faster, you might not need to run so much caster, because you might have to make a quick left or right, or some of the way the turn is, you might need um, like I say, just basically you need it to react quicker in your inputs, and the caster would slow that down. So sometimes you don't need a lot of caster. Um, and of course, it's the same with the rear. Obviously, we have the 62 liters with the number one brake pads. Any roll bar, I mean, I could run a little more on the any roll bar on the front, but I don't think it's going to help at all. And I mean, the front looks like it's staying solid, from watching the replay. And that's the main thing. I don't want it to be so tight that they can't, it's got to move a teeny bit. The brake bias at 58, which again, I mean, you can adjust that on the fly. I try not to push that too hard, because that'll, especially with these mid-engine cars, it'll make the rear end get very twitchy and lock up and get it, and then you're sliding through the apex, and it just screws the whole lap up. So I try to be a little bit on the cautious side of that. But I mean, that's just something that you could turn up. And also, I like using that as an adjustment during the race. Like if I need the car to rotate a little more for whatever reason, I can adjust the brake then and see if it'll help. And so I try not to get too aggressive with it on the setup, on the initial setup. Of course, the wheel rate on the front or springs is 151,000, with the bump stop rate of 1100 on the left front and 1000 on the right front. The bump stop range is 1 on the front, and on the rear the springs is 134,000, with the bump stop rate at 600 on the left rear and 500 on the right rear, and the bump stop range is 5 on the left rear and 8 on the 5 on the left rear and 8 on the right rear. And the roll bar is 2, and preload on the diff is 180. So again, with the springs, I'm hoping that this combination would work really well in a fast track also, not just optimum. And I don't know, it might even do pretty good with a green. Obviously you're not going to have the speed. You might have to soften it up at one click. I wouldn't go more than one click, and you probably would be fine. Maybe even on the bump stop rates, maybe if it was really slick. But I try to make it to where it meets multiple situations, not just one kind of track. Shocks or dampers, we have 8 2, 7, and 7 on the front, and on the rear it's 6, 3, 7, and 6. And I think those are working very well. Aero, I have 57 on the front and 58 on the rear, with a 9 rear wing and a 4 and a 3 in the brake ducts. And the front aero variation is negative 0.6. So, and of course, it'll basically gain another tenth once, way down. So that's not you'll lose a little bit of the rotation at the end of end of a stint if you got low on fuel, but that's okay. It's real close. It's not too bad. So I sure hope that helps, and I sure hope that you try the setup, and any feedback or comments would be great. And this is just one of the things that takes a while as far as doing setups. This one wasn't so bad. Some of them just take a long time, but this one actually I was really happy, and I hope that you enjoy it. And I sure hope you please give me the thumbs up. I would really appreciate it. It helps with all the YouTube stuff. And subscribe if you haven't subscribed. Always coming out with setups and new setups and multiplayer races and all kinds of other stuff going on. So I would appreciate the support for the channel, and I hope you come back and visit real soon. And y'all take care. See ya.